Hey team, hope you're having a great day. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about a concept to help you build your business, and that's a concept called facts tell and stories sell. You know, our business is all about stories. We're storytellers. That's why it's really important that you craft your three-step setup and you get that down, and it's powerful, and you lead with your why. And every time you do a presentation, you tell that story, and you're vulnerable, and you tell everyone why you're doing this, and you tell them that you're going with or without them, and that if they're coming, great. If they're not coming, great. But I want to talk to you today about one of the most powerful tools we have in our business, and that's our Living Proof magazine, guys. If you haven't seen this magazine, or even if you have, I'm going to recommend that even if you've read it before, go through this book and read it again, and read it again, and read it again until you have it memorized, till you know every story in here. Because, see, stories is what makes people get started. See, when people see our business, they ask themselves three questions. Is it simple? Does it work? Can I do it? And see, when you meet somebody, and maybe they have a certain background, maybe they're in real estate, or maybe they're a college student, or maybe they're unemployed, and you know someone else in the company that started and they had that same background, they had that same objection, maybe they didn't have the money, maybe they didn't have the time, whatever it is, and you can use this magazine and you're familiar with the stories in here, and someone says, hey, I don't have the time, I'm busy, I'm successful, and you can say, hey, you know, Raymond and Janie Braun, I mean, when they saw this idea, you know, Raymond ran about 4 or 5 companies. He was a top executive in corporate America. Janie was as well. They were making big money, but they had no time. They got started using the vacations, loved it so much, they actually used this as a vehicle to get their time back. See, I'm telling you guys, these magazines are so crucial. I mean, when you get someone started, if you're not giving them a living proof, you're hurting them and you're hurting your own business. So I'll give you an example. I mean, our top business partners, Travis and Brittany Just, when they first saw this idea, you know, they weren't that sure. They weren't that excited when they first saw it based on all the facts. But what happened was I gave them one of these living proofs, and they went home and they stayed up till 2 in the morning reading these stories, and guess what? They got started, they got excited, and they put in thousands and thousands of people into this idea. They're RMDs with the company. All because of this magazine, guys. So what I'm recommending is you familiarize yourself with this. Read it cover to cover. Know the stories. Be able to relate the stories to other people. And have stacks of these, and when people get started, instead of them going home, you know, I had a guy the other day, he said, I'm going to go do some research. And, you know, the bottom line is the guy goes home and he Googles and he reads a blog of somebody who lives in their mother's basement. So when he calls back, he says, you know, I don't want to get started. And I said, well, what happened? He said, well, I did some research. I said, well, you did some research, you know, where's the company located? He said, I don't know. I said, you don't know where the company's located. Who's the CEO? I don't know. How many sales did they do? How long have they been in business? He didn't know any of that. So basically, he didn't do any research. He Googled and listened to a blogger that lives in his mother's basement. Here's what Living Proof does. That same guy, you send him home with this magazine. He's reading the stories. He's getting excited. He sees other people. I can't tell you how many times I've had that happen where people were on the fence or they just got started but they weren't sure, and they read a story in here of someone similar to them, and this is full of his stories. Facts tell, stories sell, guys. Get your Living Proof magazines. The other thing I want to touch on is get signed up for the Advantage program in your back office. It's like $19 a month. Every single month you're going to get 2 CDs. They're from our top trainers, and you want to listen to those over and over in your car. Not to mention, you want to have stacks of CDs. When you go to the RTEs, you got to load up on tools, guys. This is a business. I hand out these tools like they're candy because they bring money into my business. You know, when you get someone started, give them a Living Proof and give them a CD that's going to relate to them, a CD that's going to talk to them about where they are. That's why you have to know all the CDs. You have to have listened to them yourself. You know, give them a CD and say, hey, listen to this on your way home. So instead of driving home and having buyer's remorse and being unsure about what they signed up for, they're listening to one of our top leaders who's inspiring and motivating them. Tools is make the business work, guys. This is a business of third-party tools. Use the tools, and you don't need to be the issue. And believe me, we don't want us to be the issue. We want the tools to be the issue. Get them the DVDs, get them the CDs, get them the Living Proofs. And the last thing is this, guys, get yourself registered for the View in October. Where there's a will, there's a way. Everybody who's anybody will be at the View. If you want to win big here, get yourself registered for the View. But stock up on these Living Proofs, guys. Facts tell, stories sell. learn the stories of the people in the company, and when you get good at telling stories, you can use them to help overcome people's objections, and you're going to win big. We'll see you all at the top. Take care. God bless.